Welcome back to the Table Games Network. I'm Ginger Joey.
And I am Backrooms enthusiast Corey.
Huh? You're in what room?
The trailer for Backrooms just came out today. If you're not familiar, it's a YouTube horror series, just weird experimental horror movies that have been made by a kid that was like 16 or 17 years old. And now he's getting a full movie version of it. I think he's like 18 now. It's pretty cool, actually.
You, my friend, definitely have.
A24 is making it.
Okay, I know I'm familiar with A24 Studios, but you, my
Yeah,
friend, have a very eclectic taste in
I do
movies. I
indeed.
will give you that much.
I'll give you
Um,
that.
yeah. In case
Yeah,
you can't
first
tell,
trailer. It looks great.
my voice is going to sound a little weird. I am feeling a touch under the weather, but we definitely wanted to get this weekly SWUmary out to you guys. I know it's a little bit late,
Yeah.
but that's because I went to a PQ this weekend and I got sick from that trip. So
Yeah, that's never
it is what
fun.
it is. So if I sniffle, I apologize. If my voice is gravelly, eh, it's sexy voice time, baby.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what it is.
Right. So, on that note, this is our weekly Swoomery segment. So, we are going over the tournaments, and boy, did we have good ones, obviously, because
Yeah.
the regionals happened in, was it Milwaukee?
Yes,
I
Milwaukee.
was
Yep,
saying Wisconsin all week, and I was wrong. So, yes, it's Milwaukee. So,
that is
we have
Wisconsin.
the
Yes,
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee is in Wisconsin. Yes,
Is it?
yes.
See? My head is fuzzy, boys. So, as you can see, pretty much the same as we've been seeing. This one was nice to see, and Obi-Wan Virgin's Temple actually took down an 80-person PQ because although we did
Yep.
have the regional championships of 700 people, which was a hell of a turnout for going to Milwaukee, a frigidly cold area for this time of the year, you can also see
Yeah.
that there were several other PQs that fired off over the weekend as well. And they all had pretty good numbers, which was nice to see. That means that even though people weren't
Well,
traveling,
most had pretty good numbers.
okay,
There's that
listen
one
here.
in Italy.
Listen here. Just because there was one, I'm saying most of them. I mean, I'm seeing 40s a lot. The Italy one, yes. And this is definitely where you
Yeah.
get your like rarity, like a C3PO popping up into the mix.
I I mean I do love that. It is hilarious to me that C3PO is the overall winner, but oh, ridiculous.
But still, that said, I mean, if you're looking at like all these 21st, except for that one, and then a limited PQ, which you can't even really count like the low numbers on the limited because those usually don't get as high numbers.
Yeah.
You're seeing mostly 35 plus,
Yeah.
32. So that's nice.
Well, good turnouts.
I myself was at this Bellingham, Washington location. So took a crew of me and three others up to that one to play in from the Portland, and then another one of our Portland guys was up there as well. He went up separately, so we had five contingent up there. So, and one of them ended up getting top eight, I believe fourth place, which we'll go over in a little
Third
bit. But
place, actually. Yeah,
oh,
you
he got
got third
third.
place.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. So we'll pop over to that in a second. But first, we're going to start off with the regional championship. And as I pop onto this, we see one thing and one thing only: Holy
Just,
Hans Batman.
it's so gross. I am so glad this meta's finally about to be over.
Well, I think the Lego Pizza and Ray Tan over here bringing a Han Red kind of really exemplifies Han can do no wrong, basically. He plays well
Yeah.
in every single color imaginable, which is something that I kind of like to see, but it's also kind of boring to see at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's fun, but it's the reason he plays well in all of them is he's borderline overpowered no matter what. That's, I mean, yeah, he's just too strong. Same resource cheating is always really strong.
It
Drill that into your
is.
heads, Fantasy Flight.
And I think leaders that resource cheat are the things that you really have to be careful about because of that
Yep.
static, constant capability of doing so. I mean, going out of year one and into rotation, who do we have that resource cheats now? You have technically DJ, it resource cheats in a way. You have
Kind of.
Piet, that resource cheats only on capital ships. You
Uh,
have
Krennic resource cheats by making free. credit tokens.
Yes and no. Technically, credit tokens are not what I call resource cheating because to me, resource
Yeah,
cheating, what really gets that out of control is, well, Han abused it the best because it allowed him to flip or easier and sooner
yeah,
than expected. So it's kind of like his resource cheating was also ramping, which was the hard part about it.
true. Yeah,
Most others are just resource cheating and reducing a cost of a card coming into play. Credits will end up doing that as well, but credits are universal, so any deck can be running them. And
yeah, that's
Krennic
true.
has a price to pay by getting rid of a unit for it. So it's not like he's getting a cheat off of his thing to reduce something. He already had to have something in play to make that happen. So it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah, that's fair. So yes, that knocks him off. Who else resource cheats? I mean, Han 4, obviously.
Han 4 is a good example. Han 4 is an indicative side of Boba 1. Not quite the same, but he does have that whole I can technically get 10 resources of explosion on you in one turn. Can you
Yeah.
handle that? Can you deal with that? The balance part is that it only happens the one time.
Yep.
So you don't have to constantly be under that pressure of at any point in time, I'm going to throw something bigger than it's supposed to be at you.
Yeah. That
Um,
does make a huge difference.
he also can't cheat himself out any sooner. He is always going to be flipping on his five. So,
True. Yeah, that's true.
who else do we have?
I don't think anybody else research sheets then that I can think of. Um,
Which to me is a good sign. It'll make a healthier meta
yeah.
going forward. So,
Yeah.
that
No,
said,
I agree.
Han 2. So Carson
All the
Caruso
Hans.
is a local Pacific Northwest player. So he actually just took down the Portland PQ and now hits top six at the regionals. So that's a big feather in
Yeah.
the Pacific Northwest cap. So yeah,
Excited for him. Yeah, that's
yeah.
fantastic. See?
Bought the Network Lego Pizza, obviously. He took down a PQ with this Han Tarkentown and now hits third with it. So kind of originated that deck as far as popularity went and really proved it right
Mm-hmm.
there. I liked watching it run against the Yoda to see how efficient that was. Yoda still staple as ever. Spanish Alex making it to top eight with that, which was fantastic to see as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, good players. I'm sure good games. Just I'm done with this meta. I'm just
Here is
I'm
your
ready for
champion
rotation.
of the regionals, Eekfoil,
Yeah.
Ekfoil, however you want to say that. Here's your top eight.
Yep.
Somebody missed their photo up.
Apparently,
Uh,
yeah.
interesting information is here. This is your day one to conversion ratios. So your worth the risk players made up 15% of the initial meta and dropped down to 24% conversion rate. So the Audacious Smuggler made it farther in conversion rates. They had less players, but more of them converted. Yoda was just flat across the board as your third, Cad Bane is your fourth.
I don't think that's
So,
even conversion rates. I think that's just percent of the meta.
well, no, because if you're looking at here, 100, well, yeah, percent of the player base, sure, but you can
Yeah,
look
it's
at
just a
this. It
percent there.
is 102 goes to only 22. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. The
We get it.
percentages aren't conversion rates. You are correct on that front, but
Yep,
not as many converted as you said the other one.
yep.
So yeah, interesting to see all that. I think the more interesting thing for me is as this Han, or not Han, as this meta is now going to be rotating out, where does that leave us in Eternal? Uh, Eternal format is going to be interesting going forward as how do you do it? Do you keep a ban list going, or do you make it a wild, wild west and just anything goes? And is that just going to mean that all we're going to be doing is rinse and repeating what we're basically leaving behind right now, or does things change?
I. It's a good question. I'm hopeful for Eternal, but I think I've said it before. I still feel like there's going to be Django is still going to be a problem. Triple Dark Raid is still going to be a problem.
Sure, but
Um,
you can force throw Django because force throw never really hit the meta before Django was popular.
yeah,
Force throw came after
true,
that. So does
potentially.
force throw create an answer to solve Django decks then? Because Django was only really a problem when he was on his unit side. So if you
Yeah,
flip Django and I can instantly kill him with a force throw or something, does that matter anymore?
potentially. Yeah, yeah. I'm curious to see on that. I'm not sure about that. I think Boba should be fine. Boba's going to still be really strong, but I do think there is enough to shut down Boba now as well. The fact that there's a lot of everybody's going to run anti upgrades that makes Boba's armor not as strong, which
Sure.
quickly became a problem towards the end of Shadows. Of oh wait, this is really powerful.
Sure, but I mean, whereas we started the whole journey of Star Wars where upgrades were absolute trash and you could never get any value out of them, to where now it's like if you're not running upgrade hate, you're getting run over. So
Yeah,
it's been an interesting pendulum swing, but is that a feather in the cap of design space where the meta and like the things just evolve naturally and kind of fall into place the way they need to? Or do we force opinions and judgments with the ban list and the suspension list? I mean, you use metrics. I mean, the whole metrics for banning Django was that, what was it, 40% of the player base used
yeah.
Django as their leader. Well, more than 40% use resupply. Why wasn't resupply ever restricted or banned? If that's your metric for when something needs to be banned and how it influences the meta, resupply has a huge impact on the meta.
Yes, I mean, well, I mean, the reasoning behind it is it's not it's in a lot of different decks, not just one type of deck. Django is one type of deck.
Sure, but I
When
mean,
it's a
again,
leader, it's that's a different thing
like,
entirely.
sure, but again, it's like, what's your metrics? Your metrics are percentage-based usages and then effects on stuff. Well, that kind of ticked all those boxes still, and nothing ever happened to that.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying, it's like it's kind of weird what we're using and what we're not using. So
yeah,
I'm not saying I
yeah.
disagree with banning Django because playing against Django was just not fun. So
No, that's the big thing. It just is not fun at all. We'll see. I'm curious to see how it plays out. I don't know if I'm overly excited for Eternal at the moment. But if it does develop and does look like it's pretty healthy and not just overly dominated by a handful of specific decks, yeah. And it comes down to Fantasy Flight support. Like how well are they going to support Eternal as well?
well, on that note, it's also kind of interesting that at Galactics, the Open, which is the tournament for like the start of the next season. So if you're not in the Galactic Championships, then you can play in the Open at
Mhm.
Worlds or Galactics, whatever we're calling it. And that's like the start of the next season where you can get your first points as like a sector qualifier. Well, they created an Eternal format, but it only capped at 128 players and was sold out almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
I
Why
don't
would you
think they're
do
giving
that?
enough credence for the fact that people want the Eternal format and would love to play with the cards that they still love and enjoy.
Yeah. No, I agree. I That's going to be the biggest question, and that's the biggest question across the board going forward is how well Fantasy Flight supports things. That's going to be really the telling thing.
Sure. So,
Yeah,
rolling into the PQ that I went to, which was this Bellingham qualifier, I myself took a Han 2 ECO. I wanted to take something that I thought could compete very, very well. And I know that it can because Bobaholic, one of our locals here, Mr. Kiri, one of the guys that I got me into this game and was
yeah,
one of my first play partners for testing stuff. He ended up getting third at this tournament, and he was also on Han2 ECL. My list was slightly different than his. I was running a couple things that were unique that people weren't doing, just kind of like a little bit of a spice nature.
yeah,
Um, Ironically, I didn't even draw a couple of them anytime in any of my matches ever, and it's just like one of those like I can't make the spice work if I
every
don't
time,
draw the
right?
spice.
Yeah, every time. It always seems to go that way.
And it
I feel you.
there was a couple games where if I would have just drawn that little bit of spice, I would have had it. So it is what it
Yeah,
is. I went 4-2 personally. I lost to Melteo, who got second, and I lost to Keegan Byers, who got seventh. Cat Bane Tarkentown has always been my, no pun intended, Bane deck ever since it's been around.
yeah,
So I lost two straight to him, and the first one was like I probably he just was drawing every answer he needed to counter everything that I was doing, and I probably should have scooped a lot earlier, but I kept on drawing the oh, but now I have an answer to what you did, so unless
Oh,
you have
but this
another
might do it.
answer,
Yeah.
then I got you. Oh no, you got
Oh
the other answer.
no.
Oh, then I drew. Oh, I got the other answer, and then we just kept on going back and forth. But then he pretty much
Uh,
trounced me game two. And then the Malteo was went 2-1. He got it, and it came down to he was able to get out a what's her face Infus Nest, which I've always called the light side Avenger. I mean, you get that card out, and their board state isn't healthy, you lock up the game. That's just all
yeah.
there is to it. And he rolled right from that into a Kelleran Beck, and I went
No, gross.
crap. Because there's not very many options you have in a Hantu ECL to deal with 7 health
No.
opponents. And me putting a Sentinel in their way doesn't matter because of Infus Nest having Saboteur, which is why he is, or she is, the
Yep.
Avenger. So he took that one, and then those are my only two losses. But this is my frustrating part. I lost to two top 8 people, and I ended 17th. I do
Yeah.
not understand our ranking systems and tiebreaker systems or anything. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. None.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think the big problem and what causes the issues again is intentional draws. Like I'm sure with one of your players intentional drawed into the finals, and that just kills your strength of schedule right there.
well, I know
Um,
Keegan went 4-0 and then drew the last 2 rounds to get in. I don't
yep.
know what Meltau did. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah.
that kills you right there, and that
But
messes up the
that's
strength of schedule. It doesn't make
That's
sense.
so frustrating because in a sense, my standings are more reliant on my opponents than it is on mine. It's it just is so frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, again, the problem would be solved by just getting rid of intentional draws and just using the same tiebreaker as top eights. It's
Well,
simple. It's just use a tiebreaker. It's easy.
and then this happened, which is just kind of like it was icing on the cake. I know the guy was like, I gave him crap afterwards, but it was in no way malicious. It was more so
Yeah.
just like a really kind of moment. It's the players to my left in the last round went all the way to time and ended up drawing. And at the very last second, the one player concedes to the other one because drawing at that point doesn't do anybody any good. Had they kept the draw, I would have gotten in the top 16 and actually gotten
Yep.
prized out because he conceded to the other player
Uh,
that put the other player above me, and then I got 17th and didn't get prized out. And it was just like, again, it was like a 16th prize. It doesn't matter kind of thing. It was just the
yeah.
irony of everything was like, really? You did a nice thing for them, but you screwed me in the process. So
Oh, that's brutal. That's
it was
brutal.
just icing, total icing. Again, it's still always fun to make these travel for playing with friends. And like, I got to see a lot of people in the Seattle area that I've seen at these other major events. That, it's just nice to like find that familiarity. So,
Yeah, it's always nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll hopefully. I mean, yeah. Once we get our new set out, I might actually make some in Seattle this next set because yeah, I'm more excited about the next meta and doing more PQs next set.
yeah, for me, it's I just want to see how things are going to gel out. I really want them to work on this point system. I mean, if it stays the same as it is now, I don't know that I'm going to travel very much because they're really not incentivizing people to travel at all for these. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's the easy one. Like that's just up the road. I was way
It's
out
it's
on
still
Bellingham.
travel
That's a
time.
lot
It's
further.
still hotel fare if you're going to stay the night before kind of thing. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
you're
true.
still spending a good like $160 to get up to one of these events, and it's like you're not even giving like participation points for PQs in the point system. It's like, come on,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on here?
No, I'm with you.
So,
I'm with you.
that,
We'll see. We'll see how strong and what deck I end up feeling is the best and going into stuff. But yeah, I'm excited for
sure.
next set.
That said, that was my last PQ for this set, and now we are into what I call, oops, not that one. What I call the trudge, which is this. This represents all the cards that have been in and out of different decks that I have built in testing things over the last set. And this is where I now get to sort and put back into my boxes so that I can
Woohoo!
prepare for rotation. And
Yep.
so that's what I'll be doing as I'm sickly laying here doing nothing. But
That's fun.
that puts us into the next set and what we're looking at. So, in case you haven't seen, the entire set was dropped. You can go to SWUDB and look at every single card on their main page, including the nice hyperspace versions of them as well.
Mhm.
They should also be in the Star Wars database if you want to look at them in that regard as well.
Yep.
Um, Cards of note that came out. These are not in the order, so now we have to scroll through them because we had the order of like release and then they just dumped it, so then they reconsolidated everything.
Yep.
Where do we go? Oh, the leader.
Yeah, yeah. The first
The
one was the leader. We've
spicy
got
leader
the
that came out.
Yeah, Tobias Beckett has yellow blue.
There you go.
There you go. Yellow blue, no heroism, so same as Saw Gerrera, two colors, so can play three, and has a spicy ability to give his own units to his opponent, get a credit token, and then later flip and destroy them for even more credit tokens.
So,
He's got potential. I'm seeing some builds. I'm seeing people mess with him. He's pretty powerful. He can make for a very explosive flip turn, which is I think the big play there.
so the trick to this though is A, it's nice because it's a free action. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's going to net you a credit. So essentially you're gaining resources for doing it. You are quote unquote giving up a unit to do it, which means you might take some early damage from it. But it's realistically, I think you're going to be drawing two, maybe three cards when you do the flip. I don't think you're getting much more than that.
You're probably not drawing a lot. You're only gonna kill 2 or 3 units at most. But still, that's 3 cards and 3 credits. That's a lot. Especially with those you got 3 credits giving those away, so that's 6 credits overall. So you've got an 11 resource flip turn.
Potentially, and again, that's kind of indicative of the Han 4, in which you get a flip to do a lot of big bursty things and set things up and see what you can pull off. But then where do you go from there? Because I feel like in the late game, his ability just falls off. I just
Yeah,
don't
no,
I
it
don't see it at
does
all.
nothing late game. I mean, yeah, you're not going to be giving away units anymore. The build I was seeing, video out there, Star Wars Dad, enjoy his videos, is yellow, red, or yellow, blue, red. And he's using a lot of Sentinels to give to his opponents. He's using Lobot because who cares? Give him Lobot. It's a 0/4, things like that. And then these Sentinels later in the game are not for giving away; they're just for putting out his road bump as road stops. Oh, get him in the way. He's there to just block things.
This card will definitely be good for him. This backed by the Huts, because as you're getting all these credits you can stockpile, it kind of creates like a removal card for you as
Yep.
well.
Yeah, that could be a very strong removal card actually.
I actually was looking at doing a creature version of him because you have blue, yellow, and then you can splash red, and then red gets you a lot of those creatures as well. I think ambush units can also be very good depending on what you're giving your opponent, because you can
Yep.
ambush in, take out something that they have. You're then giving them a weakened unit to then be able to come back and easily remove after the fact, as long as you can do that before they get a chance to swing at you with it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think there is a lot of potential in Tobias Beckett. I will say that I think this is of all the limited aspect or changed aspects, ones that have weird ones, the ones that are just heroic and villainy that we saw with Anakin and Revan, with DJ, and then these two dual aspect ones. This is the strongest of all the dual aspects we've seen. This of those weird aspects. This one is, I think, has a lot of potential to be a good leader going forward.
Well, I definitely think that they designed them correctly, in that Saw Gerrera being the green red is much more the aggro type
Yeah.
version of this, and this is much more the cerebral control-y type leader that you're looking for without the heroic or villainy. Because you have to really
Yep.
balance your resources properly with your removal, and then do you want to use removal on your own units or their units, or how do you want to have that happen? This Champions is another great unit to use because when you play it, you get a credit token. You can transfer it to get a credit token, and then it's there to just die. And it's not a very, like for a 3 cost, these are low stats. So
Yeah.
you're not giving them a strong unit in response to that.
Yeah. But then card wise, let's go to the blue yellow really quick and just go
Uh,
into the 3 specific cards that were made for Tobias Beckett. Yeah, you're gonna have to go up
scrolling,
through green
scrolling,
and blue
scrolling,
still first,
scrolling.
and then get
I'm going.
there.
I'm going. So many cards.
A lot of 260 of them. Yeah.
Yep, there we go. Oh, nope, one more.
There we
There we go.
go. Yep. Yep. Those 3 specifically are the big ones.
So
So
mainly
these
because
are
they have. Go ahead.
yeah, these are made for Tobias. Like they're yellow blue like him, and their abilities are basically designed to utilize by giving them to your opponents. Val's probably the weakest of all of them. Shield token's fine, not the biggest thing, but that two-face Throg, you play that at 3 and then give him to get 3 credit tokens for next turn when you're going to flip in a couple turns and kill him. Or the next turn you do a Rio to bounce him back to your hand and replay it as shielded unit. Yeah, I think Two Face and Rio are pretty interesting and fun for that deck.
Yeah, Rio was spoiled really early on, and everybody kept on trying to think of how am I going to use this? What do I do to use this? And I think that I like the fact that they saved the spoiling of Tobias and his cards to the end. So now it's like, it all comes together kind of thing. It really came full circle with the yes, this is the 2 card combo, if you will, of what we're looking to do with this.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah,
really
no,
think that
I interesting.
yeah, you can come down here and the Rhydonium Detonation, which is the second board clear card that we have. I think it was also kind of designed around Tobias Beckett because for all the work that you did in the beginning, where you're like giving your opponent all this stuff, you can just say, yeah, none of it really mattered. So
Yeah.
between his flip and this, it's the whole board just goes away.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely made for him, but I don't think it's even that good with him because he's a 5 flip. That's by the time you get to 7, your opponent doesn't really have any units you gave them,
Mhm.
and you've probably cleaned it up on your flip turn already. I mean, you can technically, I guess, play it on your flip turn. So you could
Sure.
flip Tobias, kill all the units, kill all their other problem units while keeping Tobias out because he's a non-leader unit. So there is some potential in it. I'm not sure it's great though. It's not as good as the super laser ignition or whatever it is, the blue red one.
hmm hmm
Single reactor ignition. That's it.
Yep. So the other leader that I don't think we talked about that came out was the new Chewbacca. Did we talk about them?
I think maybe we touched on Chewie. Yeah, no, we did. We talked about
We did.
Chewie.
The forecast
Yeah,
Chewie.
yeah, yeah. We touched on Chewie.
So definitely an interesting aggro plan that you can develop with him. Um, yeah. Not
Yeah,
sure how
yeah,
good it's going to
that's
be with
fair.
all the ground sentinels that we currently have. So you'd have to figure out ways around that. But
Yeah, that's the big thing. Is again, there's not a lot of ways to get Saboteur, and there's a lot of ground sentinels. I think the other card that was spoiled worth mentioning is the red collateral damage. I think that's going to
yep,
be one that gets a fair amount of play.
let's find that one real quick. Yeah, I agree because that's
Yeah,
the card that kind of gets you the reach that you want when you just need to push that extra little bit of damage.
yeah, it's that little bit extra reach that you're looking for. Uh,
Where did we go?
there's red. Yep, red. Keep going. Bottom of red.
Bottom of red.
Very end of red.
Oop. Well, this is also one that should be mentioned as well, though. Commence the
Oh yeah.
festivities. This is kind of replacing your precise fire card, which was your way of giving a unit saboteur as an event.
Yep.
So this is going to allow your units to push past those sentinels we're talking about and get in for those damage.
Yep. It's definitely
Um,
designed for Chewie in mind as well, keeping lower resources and utilizing that.
yeah, and collateral damage. I'm just going to call this the sheep card because those look like sheep jumping over a fence. I don't know why. That's
They
just what every
do
time I
look like
see it.
sheep.
That's just what I see when I see it. I think of like a Bo Peep and her sheep, and they're jumping over the fence. So, and it's kind of
Yeah.
indicative of you're jumping over their the fences and hitting right at their life with this card because it's the deal two
Yeah.
damage to a unit and then two damage to the base or another unit in the same arena. So
Yeah, no, it's a good card. It yeah, it does damage to unit and does damage to base. That's
yep.
not a bad thing at all. 3 is a little pricey, but I mean the power of the direct damage spells altogether is significantly down. So this I think is going to get play for that extra damage to base.
The other card that you have access to, which is just a single option, is there's one out of the Hoth set that costs 2 and does 2 damage to a base. No damage
Yeah,
to units, but if you want more reach, there's that option as well.
yeah, it's a potential. Yeah, overall, yeah, that not going to cover all the other cards that were spoiled. There was a lot of draft filler stuff, comments on comments that aren't that exciting, but do
Right.
want to mention the biggest takeaway I got from the whole set is we didn't get a reprint of Confiscate.
Nope.
I was really expecting that to happen, and that means you better be thinking hard about how you're going to deal with upgrades in this meta and using upgrades as well, because they're going to be rampant without Confiscate in the game.
Yep. Uh, yeah, that's. I think there was a phase where they were worried about red being overly dominant in the meta because of force throw. And I think you're going to have a bit of that as well because of just upgrade removal. The red has the only upgrade removal in the game at the moment, I believe.
Yep.
Nope, I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
Outer Rim.
No, I'm wrong. There is the junior something or another that can bounce a non-unique upgrade of cost or less or something. So I think yellow has a couple upgrade bounces, but
Yeah, but bounce is not good.
and bounce
They
isn't
just
removal
replay
as
it.
well, and it's usually
Yeah.
non-unique stuff, so it's not going to affect pilots or anything else like that. So
Yeah. No, that's going to be, I think, the big thing to think about as you're building out for the new set. Number one, what upgrades can you utilize? That's worth considering. But then also, yeah, number two, how are you going to deal with upgrades? I'll say for my Poe deck, as soon as I saw there was no confiscate, I just immediately put 3 outer rim constables in the main deck. No questions asked. That's going to be necessary now. Like,
sure.
yeah, can't even. Nope, not even thinking about it. Need to have those 3 because the meta is going to be filled with a lot of upgrades because people aren't going to be as afraid to play upgrades.
Yeah. I'm also thinking that again, Luke pilot might be a huge problem going forward.
Yeah, Luke Pilot's going to be problematic. I'm still not 100%. There's things that can shut him down.
Well, there's things that can shut
Condemn
down him,
still is a
period.
big problem for him.
Yeah, for all the people that are like boo-hooing about losing Power of the Dark Side, Condemn is just as good on a lot of fronts as Power of the Dark Side
Condemn
was.
is
It's your
Condemn shuts you
three
down. It's
cost,
yeah,
take a unit off the board basically, because as long as you're gonna keep that blue black villainy card in your hand, they get no value out of that whatsoever. It's just as good as removing a unit for 3. So
yeah,
I don't know. That card alone is what requires you to play upgrade removal. Forget the
yeah.
pilots,
No,
forget lightsabers. That card is why you need upgrade removal.
yep. Yep, 100%. Upgrade removal is absolutely necessary. So figure out some way to deal with it. Again, that's means going to be a lot of red decks because that red and blue is going to be the only thing ways. I don't even know how blue deals with it. Honestly, yeah, red is the main thing that can deal with it now, just because we have outer rim.
Wow. So I just see that my camera is frozen. I don't know how long it's been
Oh yeah,
frozen.
you are frozen. Look at that. Yeah, it's been frozen for a bit. Oh well,
So hopefully the audio's been going through this whole time. Otherwise, wah wah.
I've been hearing you, so I'm assuming so.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I have concerns about upgrades this next set, as I just discussed. Like, I think that's going to be a bit problematic without confiscate. I don't know about the choice to not reprint confiscate. I, I really think that was a necessary card to have.
Yep, we'll see though. I mean, it is what it is at this point in time. No changing it
Yep.
now. You just have to deal with it.
Nope. Maybe it'll be in next set or the set after. so it won't run rampant for too long. That's my guess. Is I would assume every rotation we should have confiscate. That doesn't make sense not to always have that card available.
Well, the point was brought up. I mean, I griped about this during this last block, if you will, for a while, and it's why did we need Power of the Dark Side and Merciless Contest in the same block? We didn't. You
Yeah,
could have either just reprinted Power of the Dark Side if you really wanted it to be around, right? Or wait till it rotates out and so it's like printing multiple copies of a card that basically does the same thing as a card that's already in the rotation just dilutes the pool and makes it like
yeah,
worse for everybody.
yeah. Which makes and yeah, I agree with that. Like we didn't need to reprint confiscated the last three sets.
No.
It's now that we rotate.
Yep.
Yes, now we need to reprint that card. That card
Sure.
needs to be part of rotation because it's not. It's a perfectly good card that answers problems at a reasonable price, but it takes up a deck slot. Like it's not overpowered. It only gets rid of one upgrade. Yeah, it's like it's not anything that breaks the game. It just helps keep the meta under control and keep it so every deck has at least an answer to upgrades in some way, to at least
Well,
sideboard.
I think technically you have answers and upgrades in every single color, technically, because blue removes things. The only upgrade blue can't remove right now is Chewbacca, right?
Yeah,
Yellow removes upgrades by bouncing whatever unit has the upgrade. That doesn't always feel good to bounce something that has an upgrade that's going to give them a unit that can come back into play and do something, but that's how you get rid of the upgrades on yellow, is you just bounce things.
yeah,
Again, Chewbacca, you can't bounce, but there is other answers for those. I mean, blue does have no glory on the results.
yeah,
Red already has the item removed, but they technically have Force Lightning. Wait, don't no, Force Lightning went away. They don't have Force Lightning
yeah.
anymore. So
Um,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
there is answers, but it's not all of them are ideal ways of dealing with things.
That's the thing, yeah, and I think that's where it comes down to. So we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, it'll come down to how it plays out as we go, but yeah, just go in with expectations. Upgrades are going to be the way to go. Pilots are going to be very good because there's just not enough ways to deal with pilots for a lot of decks. But yeah, just those type of things are something to be thinking about as you're building out for this next set's meta.
In general, there is an answer to pilots, which is that red ship that they introduced. Scroll back up to it.
Yeah, well, there's ways to wipe space. There's answers for pilots more.
So this
Um,
overcharged transport will be a big
yeah,
anti-pilot card.
yep.
And since it flips or it comes into play on 4, it technically can even hit like Kaz, or what's his face? Uh, who's the villainy red pilot?
Von Reg.
Von Reg. Like so, it can
Yeah,
come into play at the same turn that those can flip. And unlike Luke, they're still susceptible to it. I think the bigger
yeah,
factor is without a card like Bamboozle, Luke gets away scot-free from all of this stuff. So,
yeah, yeah. Luke is an issue. We'll see what people get together for dealing with him. Um, I'll say at least from the fellow space deck competition, like Poe does not feel bad going into Luke most of the time. Um, yeah, I usually feel okay in that matchup, at least from that side, because usually Poe can have big enough space units with him on it to run over those ships and still have that ship survive.
yeah. Now, going into this next set, we are supposedly going to be having eternal PQs.
Yep, that's what they're saying.
Are
Nothing
you
confirmed
more
yet.
apt to play in an eternal PQ or a premier PQ?
I would want to do Premiere, honestly, myself. Premiere or actually another sealed. It's random. Sealed is going to sealed, but still, I would enjoy that as well. So I would do that first and foremost. Eternal, if there is a local Eternal, I will go to it. If it's Seattle, I will consider it, but I'm not certain.
Fair.
Yeah. You are you thinking the same or?
Um, I think for me, I'll play in whatever. As far as what I'd prefer to play in, I think with the way that Eternal is likely to pan out, I'd rather play in Premiere right now. I
Mhm.
think Eternal's debauchery is going to be extreme, and it lends to a lot of the decks that I just don't like to play against. So,
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of Han.
well,
Yeah, still Hans galore.
it's not even necessarily the Han factor. It's more so the fact of you're going to have the Twin Suns cards that are coming out in the sealed product are legal
That's so
in
weird.
Eternal, right? And I believe that includes the Twin Suns leaders, which kind of like opens up a whole new can of worms.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's a weird choice.
And they also get access to these cards out of the Lawless Time set, which some of these, in conjunction with the cards that already exist, I
Yeah.
think make it a real gross. I mean, I'll tell you this: if I'm playing Eternal, I'm probably going back and looking at the most debaucherous discard deck I can possibly put together out of everything,
Gross.
and just
Gross,
make
gross,
it to
gross.
where you have no hand. That's my goal because that's my only way of preventing you from doing a lot of the gross things that are going to be capable of in Eternal.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, uh, I'm curious to see how Eternal plays out, but I do. Yeah, I definitely have concerns of gross things. I mean, I think I said it before. I honestly, the biggest one I think that should be banned is Triple Dark Raid. Still, like, I still think that card is just beyond broken.
No.
That card was such. The fact that the unit went back to your hand was where the problem was for that card.
Sure, I'm not saying that that's not what made it powerful, but I mean, the reason why it was so broken is in the conjunction with Django. If it's not in
Oh
a
yeah,
Django deck, I don't think it's a broken card. It is an immensely powerful card, but no more than Force Throw or Overwhelming Barrage is, to be perfectly honest. So, I mean, Overwhelming
potentially.
Barrage never should have allowed you to attack with the unit. It should have been, I get the bonus and I spread my damage around and it exhausts me. The fact that you can
Yeah,
attack with it makes that card ridiculous. So that's no different than, oh, I went for it, I searched for it, I put it into play, I attacked with it, and now it goes back to my hand. I still have to pay for it to put it back into play.
yeah, you have to pay for it again, but it's still way too powerful. When you have things with powerful when plays that you utilize with it, like Devastator or Ruthless Raider, things like that.
Cassian is a powerful one plate and comes from the row. It basically is like, oh, it didn't cost me a card in my hand at all. It came from my row because I smuggled
Mm.
it into play, and now I can swing with him because he comes into play ready. I mean, having powerful win plays doesn't make a card broken.
No,
It's
it's the combination of that with Triple Dark Raid's discount and going back to your hand to replay it. It's not the single thing. It's the power level of Triple Dark Raid was just,
yep.
again, I don't know what they were thinking. It's why would you give it back to your hand? Why did you not like the reprinted version where it goes to the bottom of the deck? That makes sense.
Oh, you're talking about the
That's what it should have done.
Maz
Yeah, the
Kanata or
Mos
whatever.
Kanata, which is a similar thing, but yeah, it goes to the bottom of the deck afterwards. That makes sense.
Sure.
Like, do it that way.
I'm not saying that it's not a super powerful card and did a lot of things, but it was the closest thing to a combo card we have seen this game actually produce
That's
in
true. Yeah.
quite a long time. I mean, the only other things that can kind of enable combos would be the Obi-Wan of the brainstorm type effect when it comes into, or sorry, the Qui-Gon of the
Qui-Gon, yeah.
brainstorm type effect when it comes into play, and the Krea's Whispers, but they're more so like search engines to find your combo pieces more than they are a combo piece
Yeah.
in itself. So,
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I'm not overly excited about Eternal. I mean, I'm a little excited. I get to play Boba Yellow again. That's fun. I do think that'll be fun to rebuild Boba Yellow, and just see what it can do again. Do now.
yeah, I thought Boba should have been unbanned actually probably 2 sets ago.
Potentially,
Like
yeah.
when Force Throw was around, I don't think Boba would have been a problem. People would have been wanting
Yeah,
to
no.
play him, but I think Force Throw being able just to take out Boba. Once they banned Force Throw, then you would have saw, which is kind of the exact same thing what you saw, right? Because when the
Yeah,
Boba was
Han.
around, you had Han 1 battling Boba. That was your meta. and then Force Throw goes away, Boba's banned. Well, here's all the Han ones, and you never
Yep.
like turn back from there. It's like literally you just reset the meta clock at that point in time, and you didn't have the antithesis of what was countering Han. So it's just all Han.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yep. Yeah, that's that kind of the truth, and that's the one thing that does make me kind of excited about Eternal is I would enjoy playing Boba Yellow again and just seeing how it fares against all of these other decks now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think
Yeah.
that's going to wrap us up for our weekly SWUmary. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned because Thursday Throwdown we got another post rotation game coming your way, and we'll see you
Yeah, it's a
guys
fun one.
next time.